just moved in next door.
Oh, baby, leave those people alone.
Your wife. She will be mine.
What's wrong with you?
So we hunting vampires.
I'm scared.
I got just what you need. Joel Osteen Holy Water.
Kinda got a pineapple taste to it.
For studded cast, that's a clip from the new movie The House Next Door, Meet the Blacks 2, which hits theaters today. It's the sequel to the hilarious Meet the Blacks. And joining us now, writer and director Deon Taylor, who's also the founder of the independent film company Hidden Empire Film Group. Welcome to BNC, Deon.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. We're so glad you're here. Good morning. Good morning. Look, let's get into it. Mike Epps is back as Carl Black. In the original, he and his family live in Beverly Hills. How did you come up with the storyline for the sequel? Walk us through that.
Well, you know, in 2016, the original movie, we just kind of put this little film together, and I was just coming off of a very serious drama. And we put Meet the Blacks together, and it ended up opening number 4 in the world. And after that happened, I was like, yo, this is crazy. So I then go on to make The Intruder, Black and Blue, and Fatale. And everywhere I went, people were like, hey, man, are you going to do another Meet the Blacks? And I was like, oh, my God, this is crazy. And the final straw was I was in London, and a reporter came to me and was like, you know, the most abstract woman was like, are you going to do another Meet the Blacks? And I was like, okay, I have to do another one. So I ended up reaching out to Katt Williams, and he was like, I would come do it. And here we are, man, today. The movie was done a couple years ago due to the pandemic, and we just been trying to figure out how to release it, and finally this was the perfect time. I said, people need to laugh.
Yeah. Deon, what's up, man? Look, the reason why they wanted to see part 2 because the first one was hilarious, and I'm hearing the second one goes to the next level by the 10th degree. What takes it to that level?
I think, you know, the first movie, man, we shot it in, 13 days. It was a very hard film to put together. They're all independent. When I came back this time, I wanted to do it right. I wanted to put a little bit more energy into it. We had a little bit more money. So I wanted to bring the special effects up and also just give the talent a little bit more time. But when you're dealing with 12 and 13 comedians and you're talking about Mike Epps, Katt Williams, Danny Trejo, I mean, it just Snoop Dogg, Rick Ross, Michael Blackson, every day is fun, but you need a little bit more time because you're laughing so much. So this movie is great because it was done for about $3 million. Which is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It's being released independently. And on top of that, this film is made for a specific audience. We know exactly who this movie is for. Mm-hmm. It's not for everyone. It's for the diehard people that love these comedians, the people like myself who've grown up on Mike and Katt.
Yeah, and I want to ask you about that. And I definitely want to get to your production company because it's black owned, it's black run. You got mainly black actors, so I want to get into that in a second. But when you're talking about directing, like comic geniuses like Katt Williams and Mike Epps, where's that line, that balance of letting them do their thing, but at the same time still directing them and making sure that they kind of stick with the script a little bit?
You know what, man? Look, these are the biggest geniuses of our time. I can't write for Katt Williams, you know what I mean, or Mike Epps. But what you can do is, as a director, is you could just kind of put them into a box and make sure that they're hitting all the beats that you need them to hit for the storyline. It's interesting because I've been blessed enough to work with Hilary Swank, who has 2 Oscars, Naomi Harris, who's been nominated for an Oscar. And these guys are no different in terms of like how, you get into a room and you let them do what they do because they're that incredible at their craft. And this movie was no different. I would tell you that being on set with Mike and Katt, you could see the difference in the comedy. Katt being a lot more political, a lot more savvy in terms of, the space he's in. And then Mike being a lot like Richard Pryor, where he has a lot of, just on the spot humor, and just the two of them together were just incredible, man. I think about it often, just how great they were and the experience that I was able to have shooting this movie with them.
And Deon, I think a lot of folks see you here on BNC right now. They may not realize that you played pro basketball in Germany, switched gears. Now, of course, such a leader inside of the movie industry. They want a little inspiration, I'm sure. How did you make the switch? How did you think, you know what, I'm going to make a name for myself with my craft and get into Hollywood?
You know what? I like to call myself the product of no. We were told no so much. To finally, I just said, man, this this is crazy. Like I think I'm gonna have to tell myself yes. And it
Hmm.
is very hard for us as Black people to get into the space of Hollywood and entertainment, and we always are pushing and trying and knocking on doors and hoping somebody will open a door for us. And what I realized very quickly was no one's going to open a door for you. You got to go open your own door. You got to
Mm.
go create your own way. And once you do that, those people will then come to you. And there's no agent, there's no manager, there's no one that can make you hot. The only person that can make you hot is you. And that's what we did with our own company, man. Myself, my wife, we created our own Black independent film company. We've amassed over $100 million in box office receipts. We've made some incredible films that are all independently done. We own our own catalog. And look, 13 years into this, now people going like, oh man, who are did you see these guys? I'm like, man, we've been around here. We've been doing this for a long time, man. We done had sleepless nights. We done had nights with the lights off. We done had nights with no gas in the car. And it's like, you have to go through adversity and you have to be prepared. You have to be
Mm.
prepared to have a metaphysical death in order to get to the other side of this. Meaning, are you willing to go as hard as you can and risk it all to find that success? And we did it.
You have, and that's why I'm so proud of you. You know, your brother Ephraim and I are really good friends who work together, and he's been telling me
Yes.
about you a long time. And I'm so proud of you and what you've been able to do. Like you said, Black owned, Black operated, mostly Black cast. You put out some great films like Fatale, Black and Blue, Intruder, and now Meet the Blacks once again, 1 and 2. But I am the most proud of you, my brother, for what you do, for using your platform, for taking a stand when it comes to social justice issues. And that's something that is really important to you. Why is it so important to you in that regard?
Man, first off, big man, I love you to death, man. And yes, my brother, my brother is crazy, man. He is, obviously a writer. So shout out to Ephraim, man. Yeah, the
Mm.
social aspect of it. About 5 years ago, we created Be Woke Vote, which is arguably one of the biggest voter registration arms we have. We registered 850,000 people to vote last year. Coming into this year, obviously put on so many marches for George Floyd and social injustice. But why it's important to me is because I'm a Black man and
Mm.
I live in the real world. And, coming out of Gary, Indiana, and then being able to move to California, after high school, I just seen both sides of this, man. And as things happen, I feel like it's our job to be the voice. We can't wait for someone else to say, hey man, did you see what happened? Like we have to be those people and we have to lead the youth and make sure that they're educated on what's going on. There's a lot going on for us right now. There's a lot. There is so much to where I feel like my job is to keep informing people and keep being out here trying to explain to people what we have to do or what my thoughts are on changing things, period. And sometimes that goes against the grain of Hollywood, if that makes sense. But it doesn't matter to me because this is what we really are supposed to be doing, man. What are we gonna leave behind? Like what message are we telling our kids? Like what did we do? And it's bigger than an Instagram post. It's bigger than just saying some stuff at the Starbucks around the coffee table. It takes energy, man. You got to get out here. You got to march. You got to get in front of the kids. You got to get to these schools. You got to explain to them why you can't do the certain things that you think you can do. You got to make them understand that you can't
Hmm.
floss on Instagram and you ain't really got it. All these
Hmm.
things are just like things
Right.
that we have to do as the adults and the OGs in the community.
Well, keep on doing what you're doing, man. I'm so proud of you. You know the love is there. Looking forward to this movie. Always going to support you. The movie is The House Next Door. Meet the Blacks 2. It is out today. My brother, Deon Taylor, it has been an honor to have you here on BNC with us. Come on back, man. We got to talk because I know you got a John Lewis movie that's going to be coming out pretty soon as well.
Oh man, thank
Absolutely.
you so much, man. Let me just say this before we get off, man. I love the network. I'm so excited, man. And listen, I can't wait for this to be in every household in America, man. I
Hmm.
love seeing y'all. So congratulations to you all. Thank you so much. House Next Door, go support it. 100% independent. Black owned, just like it's supposed to be. Thank you so much.